Good morning. My name is Charlie Dussault from Psychemedics Corporation, and I'd like to welcome you to our webinar today. Say thanks to all of you that have joined us. I also noticed that there are many of our customers on the call today, so I'd like to thank you as well. We appreciate your business, and I'm sure you'll enjoy today's session. The title of today's webinar is "In Safety, There Are No Secrets." In today's session, you'll be hearing directly from three industry leaders and innovators and how they are using hair testing to not only build highly productive but drug-free workforces as well. In this case, the customers you'll be hearing from are out of the transportation industry, and they're all vice presidents in their companies in the safety area. Today's format is going to be a roundtable coffee talk. We'll hear directly from our guest panelists sharing their experiences as well as a lot of data as well. Before we get started, however, I'd like to give you a brief overview of who is Psychemedics. We like to say we invented the science that reinvented the industry. We pioneered the science and application of hair testing back in 1987, and for over 30 years, we've been successfully serving corporate clients globally. We have 12 US patents granted on our technology that we have not licensed out to anybody, and we have the most extensive and successful legal track record in the world for hair testing. Our clients come from a broad range of industries, many of who you can see in the slide. Today, we'll be hearing from customers in the trucking segment. In addition, we test in manufacturing companies, oil and gas companies, healthcare companies and hospitals, retail, consumer packaged goods, as well as financial services and insurance, to police forces. We do many of the leading police forces in the country, including NYPD, LAPD, Chicago PD, among others. We also do a lot of testing for the United States Coast Guard. Finally, we do a lot of testing in the nation's leading secondary schools. Vaping has become an increasing problem in our high schools, and we have many customers in the education space who test for THC, CBD, and even nicotine. Let's talk about the science of hair testing a little bit. You can think of the hair in your head like the tape in a tape recorder. Hair testing is based on a proven scientific principle. Drugs ingested in your system accumulate permanently in your hair in proportion to how much you've taken and when you've taken it. So think of that tape recorder that records how much drug has been ingested and at what time it's been ingested. You can see from the chart on the left that blood nourishes your hair and deposits trace amount of chemical substances that get entrapped in the cortex of the hair from when drugs are ingested. We provide an analysis that will tell you which drugs are being consumed, at what quantity, and it'll show the historical pattern of substance abuse. Why is this important? Well, by identifying habitual users, these are the people that present the highest risks to your company. Thinking back to that tape recorder example, Psychemedics provides a 90-day look-back window of the drugs that are taken over that time period. On this chart, you'll see the other matrices used to test for drugs: blood, saliva, and urine, all provide a look-back window of 4 to 5 days or less. A multi-month picture of usage will help you identify people with a pattern or a lifestyle of drug use to prevent them from coming into your company. Many drugs are water soluble: cocaine, amphetamines, opioids, and the body is efficient at washing those drugs out of your system. But again, those drugs are permanently recorded in your hair. So what are some of the benefits? Psychemedics hair test identifies 10 times or more users than urine testing, giving you the best return on investment than any other method of testing or any other lab. Unlike the urine test, the hair test is virtually impossible to evade or cheat. This test is also not a follicle test. We're not plucking hair from the head to do the test. The test is simply done by cutting the hair above the scalp. The amount of hair that's collected is about the size of a lead in the number 2 pencil. In addition to being able to collect head hair, we can also test body hair, leg hair, arm hair, chest hair, underarm hair are all samples that we can test and provide that 90-day look-back window. The collection itself is very sanitary. Oftentimes, the collection is done from the back of somebody's head, so you're not facing the person, and you're not dealing with a urine cup, a dirty bathroom, or area where the collection has to be done. Many of our customers actually do the collections themselves. The last point we want to make here is that all hair testing is not the same. All urine testing is the same. The technology for urine testing is the same. For hair testing, it's not. So why do we say that? Psychemedics has been leading in the science of hair testing for over 30 years. The 12 patents that I mentioned earlier are important. Our key and fundamental patent is the patent that allows us to extract virtually 100% of the drug from the hair. If you can't extract the drug from the hair, you can't test for it. We're also the only laboratory to implement and use an FBI-validated wash process that virtually eliminates external contamination from the hair. The person can't say, I went to a Deadhead concert last night. There are a lot of people smoking dope, and that's why I tested positive for the drug. We account for that with the wash criteria that we use. This gives us the best detection rate in the business. We're at least 2 times or more detection than any other hair testing lab in the world. What this leads to is the lowest cost per positive. If you look at the total cost of the testing that's being done, and you divide that by the number of users that our hair test is identifying, Psychemedics hair testing gives you the lowest cost per positive